Grace and peace, y'all. I hope everybody's feeling blessed today. Okay, it is 5:30 in the morning, and I'm already getting downloads. So I said I might as well get up and record this video because this one was coming in heavy. So somebody manifested this video at 5:30 in the morning on a Sunday, but it's okay because I got you. So when I get into this, yeah. Let's start off with welcome to Wisdom Became Her, that good old safe space so we go ahead and unpack our trauma so we can walk in the grace that God so lovingly gives us. If you're new here, welcome in. Thank you for finding our little corner of healing. Go ahead and subscribe because if you have found this little corner of healing, God has guided you home. If you're returning, hey, so family, welcome back. You already know what to do. Like the video and share with somebody you know who needs it. All right? All right. Now, today we're going to be talking about identity shifting. This is something that I feel like it's not said blatantly, but it's always insinuated and misunderstood. I know that once people start walking their spiritual walk, the ones who knew them tend to feel like you changed, definitely, which of course you did, you changed. But they feel like you are no longer being real. You're being a fake variation of you. But what's not being understood is that you actually are more real then than you were when they knew you. So they didn't even know you. Confirmation. So a lot of times that feeling of, oh no, that person can't possibly be like that, it's a projection. You feel that way because you're still the same. And honestly, that's where the problem actually is. Now, I have at least 3 solid points that I want to drive home when it comes to shifting your identity because it's going to help you just understand the baseline reason for it, why it has to happen, the important, like all the little facets that I think will help you understand why shifting is what needs to happen for you. So we'll get into the first aspect now. The very first aspect of identity shifting is understanding that it is mandatory to shift if you're walking with God. Mandated. Why? Because everything you think you know about who you are is going to be proven wrong. Everything. All of it. No one who meets God at that crossroads that says, Lord, I'm choosing you, lead and I'll follow, is the same person who starts taking the steps. You just cannot be that person anymore. It's because that person is built on survival. That person is built on trauma. That person is built on pains and hurts that need to be resolved. And until they fully are, you can't even get to the underlying layer of starting to understand who you are. Because those aspects of you built the falsified self. They built your mask. So the only way to get rid of your mask is to prove that you don't need to wear it anymore. So walking with God is going to be a mandated process of losing yourself so that you can find your true self. Embrace it. Embrace it. Too many of us fight this. They get into the process of walking with God. They know that this is what they want to do. They feel all of the amazing possibilities that can come for them. But when it comes to letting go of the false self, they hold on with tooth and nail. They refuse to let it go. And it's understandable. We find comfort in the false self. The false self was built, like I said, on survival. So while they're existing, you feel safe because they know what you've been through, so they navigate that for you. We think that the brain is smart. No. The brain is hot wired for protection. So if it thinks that if you stand too close to the edge of the curb, before the light changes that you'll get by a car, you'll never stand there. And it doesn't mean that it's good or bad. It just means it knows something and it's using what it knows to predict what can happen. But those predictions aren't always clear. For example, if right now you decided you wanted to be a race car driver, thank you, Holy Spirit. You want to be a race car driver. A lot of us, especially adults, would be like, I I can't be a race car driver. You can't. Because the truth is, if you have a license, if you took the classes, if you got to try driving a race, you would be a race car driver. So is it you can't be a race car driver? Is it the possibility of it is low because your brain is processing everything that needs to happen and saying that the likelihood isn't there? You could be a race car driver. It's just going to be a process. So understand that. Understand that the brain is here to protect you. So it's going to help you hold on to that false identity, which is why we're taking the process off of the brain and placing that process on your faith. Now we'll get into the process of shifting identities. Now, this one is a little bit more detailed. It's harder to discuss because no one's process is going to be the same. No one. The truth is, we all have different backgrounds and we all have been through different traumas. And our souls have done many paths before this lifetime itself. With all of that put together, no two souls are identical. None. It doesn't matter if you're a twin. You can be a twin and be in a situation and see your twins to go through something. Y'all still gonna look at it from two different vantage points. Y'all can go through the same situation and the details will never be identical. So everyone's path is going to be different because you're going to have to uncover what identifies with your soul. Now, as you're going through this process of sifting, of what you believed because that's what you were told you should believe, and what you actually believe to your core, even coming up with them on the fly because you may not know what you believe. It may be that your whole life you were told to believe one thing, especially if you were a child who was pushed toward people pleasing. You may not know what you believe. It may just be that everything that you believe was implanted in you from childhood or from your rearing. You have to now define those things. What does this mean to you? When, you get up and you go to work, do you really like going to work and doing what you do? Or do you just like the check? If you just like the check, what could you be doing to get that same check? So that now you get the check, but now you're happy doing it. All of this is going to be a part of shifting your identity. Because the whole time you're figuring out who you're not. So you can figure out who you are. I used to actually love that question. When people used to ask me, hey, what do you want? I always felt it was just easier to answer what I don't. Always. Because you don't ever want to narrow the scope of what you want. You want to narrow the scope of what you don't want. I'd rather make that more finite. I know what I don't want to experience. So I'll write those down. The things I want to experience, surprise me. Now the next one is the integration of the new self while you starve the old self. This is where things get difficult because remember, who you were that person for however many years you've been on this planet until you started your walk. You now have to revert from coming back to that person and identify with the new. Things get a little bit difficult with that because you have to start formatting who the new person is first. Who is this person? How does this person carry themselves? What matters to them? Have they stopped caring about what the world thinks of them? Are they able to stand up for themselves and do all the things that they couldn't do when they were still in a weaker mindset? And then remembering when you go into the old situations, let's say, you go speak to an old friend or you run into them at the grocery store and they're talking to you and you feel yourself revert back to your shyer self, your more comfortable self. You have to remember, oh, wait a minute, I'm falling back into that place because this is one of those situations where I felt safe. And just go back to being who you are. Integration is so important because you can accidentally take those trauma hidden selves and bring it with you into your new life. See, we are ambassadors of New Earth. We don't want anything from the old, anything from the past. We bring in everything positive into the future. So yeah. Now, before I close this video out, there was a poem that came to mind while I was in the process of getting this download. And it's by a young man named Messiah, who was taken from us very early but came here with a very powerful message. One of my besties, May, that was her nephew. And it was entitled, Why You Can't Cage a Butterfly. And as soon as I heard this poem, it immediately resonated with me. One, because I love butterflies. This was something that I shared with my grandmother. Loved butterflies, and I still do. But I understood very much what it meant. And it goes perfectly with the theme of shifting your identity. Now, the reason why you should never cage a butterfly is because of all the hardship it went through to become that. Unlike a bird, a butterfly crawled on its belly on the ground. It was defenseless at one point. Everything was an enemy. And yet, it continued on. It grew. It finally found a way to transform itself. It put itself in such a confined place, a restricted place, and was locked in there for so long until it could discover itself. And then when it was time to come out, it, as delicate as it is, fought its way out to get out of that dark space so that it can show its new self. And that's powerful. So for you to cage a creature who had the potential to be victimized, probably was several times, who chose to go inside and become better, and then fought its way out to become its best self, that's practically criminal. You should never. And when you fully understand that, you no longer want to keep a butterfly in its cage. You recognize that everything that butterfly went through is everything you're going to have to go through. And that instead of you wanting to cage it for its beauty, for its ability to be something that you feel you can't be yet, or even because the uncomfortability of what it makes you think of when you think of yourself, those are not reasons. Those are reasons to admire the butterfly, to uphold the butterfly, and to allow the butterfly to help you transition into your butterfly season. So you should never cage one. Let them be free, because they'll die in the cage, because they were never meant to be there in the first place. All right, y'all. I hope this message reaches who it's supposed to reach at 6 a.m. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share, do all those things. And I will catch you in the next one. Love and light, y'all. And